Good morning. I'll just hang on and see if a few people jump on for the live before I get started. It's getting a bit overcast here in Edinburgh. It started off this morning, it was beautiful blue sky and sunshine, and and now it's started to cloud over and there's a bit of grey sky, so I'm not sure if maybe it's going to start raining. It's been raining a lot here in Edinburgh the past couple of weeks. Morning everybody. And one of my kids has gone off to school in like shorts and t-shirts and sandals, so I hope it doesn't start raining on the way home. But at least we'll be coming home and then they can get changed when we're home. So morning. If you haven't joined me for this little video on a Thursday morning before, it kind of started because before lockdown I was running a Wednesday evening knit night, which I would always bake for. And oh, hello, somebody in New Zealand. So it's evening for you. And so I would always bake for the knit night, and then on the Thursday morning when I dropped my kids off at school, come back home and eat some of the cake that was left over from my breakfast. So that's how these videos kind of started. So I've been doing my knit night virtually now, but I'm trying to get back into the habit of baking because it's always quite nice to have something in the house. So I've got my cup of coffee, and this week I've made cookies, which are, I'll show you the book actually. I use this book quite a bit. It's the Hummingbird Bakery cookbook. And they have a bakery in London, and the recipes, the quantities, they always make loads, so I quite often just do half. So I made these pecan nut, and it's supposed to be white chocolate, but as usual with me, I didn't have enough white chocolate, so I used a bit of a mixture of dark chocolate and white chocolate chips. So they're quite big, and the recipe said it would make 24 for the whole lot, and I halved it, and I've definitely got more than 12, so I don't know what size they make their cookies. But it was one of these recipes where you make the dough and then you roll it into a sort of sausage shape and you put it in the fridge. Oh, Crafty Gem, you would have made the whole lot. Well, I know from experience that book, honestly, the quantities are like as if you were running a cafe or something. So I was just like, I don't think I need, a whole 250 grams of butter for all these cookies. It always makes more. So and now my charger has decided to pop out. Well, hopefully I don't lose all my battery. Anyway, so you make the dough into a sausage shape, and then you're supposed to put it in the fridge and then slice it, but I've never had much luck with that. They always, like, when I try to slice it, it's not hard enough or whatever, so I put it in the freezer instead. And actually I only maybe had it in for about 45 minutes, and then I took it out and it sliced quite nicely, and I still had to sort of reshape them, but it was fine and they taste good. So that is nice to have a batch of those in the house for later. So I thought I would show you how I've been getting on with my Coraline sample. I've been working on the body, so I've done quite a few repeats. The body's got these little eyelets, and I've just done another row of eyelets here, so I'm making another version so that I can try out. I wanted to make a cropped version and also have a dipped hem version. So the original one, which I've got here, is knitted in Rowan Moordale, which is a double knit weight yarn, which has some alpaca in it, so it's got a lovely drape. It's got so 4 repeats. So I think for the cropped version it's going to finish about here. So I'm not too far off, and then I'll do some short rows on the back for the hem, and I'm trying to get that finished so that I can have my editor check the pattern, and then I can get it out to my preview knitters. So yeah, I'm trying to crack on with that this week, just to get that hem finished. I'm not too fussed about getting the sleeves done just now, because the pattern was already published in Knit Now, so I know that the sleeve pattern, the instructions for the sleeves are absolutely fine, and I will just use it as it was, as I wrote it for the magazine. But for the hem, I did want to just have an option for a shorter hem, because I seem to be, that's something I've been enjoying wearing, more cropped jumpers. I don't know if you've found that. It just seems to be a lot more high-waisted trousers and jeans and skirts and things at the moment, and so a lot of jumpers that I've knitted recently I've made them cropped, and I'm also really loving a dipped hem at the back. I think sometimes jumpers can sort of lean forward or fall forward on your shoulders, even if you put some short rows on the back of the neck, and I think if you have the dipped hem at the back, then it's kind of balances that out a bit, that effect. And because this is in garter stitch, the short rows will be really easy, because I'll do a wrap and turn, but you won't need to pick up the wraps because you don't see them in the garter stitch, so that makes it an easy option. So I've been getting on with that, and then I know last week I was talking about being creative with your knitting projects, and how maybe like using up little bits of scrap yarn, leftovers in different colours, would sort of helps with that feeling of getting creative. So this week's blog post over on my website is some pattern suggestions basically for using up leftover yarn. So I've got over there, I've got a couple of blanket suggestions and a couple of sock patterns, which are really great for using up leftovers, and then quite a few shawls and cowls. And I thought I would show you some of the patterns that I've designed that help use leftovers. But the ones that are on the website, there's a bit of a mixture, some of my patterns and some from other designers. So I might start with this one. So this is a cowl called Choose Colour Cowl, and it's got a textured panel which is supposed to be in the middle. Mine's gone a little bit wonky. And that's done with, well, this one was done with mini skeins, but you could do it with just leftovers of different amounts, and you sort of stripe them and you can make a fade effect basically. And it comes in 3 different sizes, so you can do just a single loop cowl, or you can do a bigger one that would just still go round once, but it would hang down a bit more. And then this is the 3rd size, so this one can actually, you can wear it doubled up. It's really snug and cozy. So that's a good one for leftovers. And the other cowl pattern that I have that's good for that is called Patience. So this one's been knitted with, oh, maybe I should say this one was knitted with mini skeins from Witchcrafty Lady, and with a few leftovers of yarn from the Wool Kitchen added in to make it a bit longer. And this one's done with little tiny mini skeins from Cuddlebum's yarn. And she does, well, I don't know if she still does them, but she did at the time. They were like 5 gram mini skeins, so they were absolutely tiny. So you could make this one with tiny little scraps. And it has a little bit here where it goes between stocking stitch and reverse stocking stitch, and then that bit sort of swirls around and you stripe them so that it blends in. So even if you've got lots of different colours, you can still kind of blend it together. And these 2 were originally designed for using with advent calendar skeins, but you can do them with anything really, 5 gram, 10 gram, 20 gram. And then there's a couple of shawls. So this one is called Zastruga, and it's a sort of asymmetric one, and it's done with mini skeins, or you could use scraps for this as well. You need about 20 grams of 4-ply or fingering weight for each section. And that's got different textures in each part, so it's quite interesting to knit. And it's got lace at the bottom. And then another one that's for mini skeins, and you can do this one with mini skeins of different sizes, is Hover, which I'm not going to be able to show you, but when you lay it out, the shape of it is like a bird hovering. And this one is nice because you start at one end and you have an increasing stitch count, and then you do these like little textured sections where you change colour, and then once you get to the middle you're decreasing again, which I always like. And this one has been done in linen, but you could do it in a woolen yarn. And that one comes, you can do it in different sizes of scraps as well. Gives you instructions for that. And then this one, which I think, is this my most recent one? Yeah, I think it might be for using up scraps and mini skeins, is Winter Lights. So this one starts off here and you go along, and you can do it with 3 different mini skeins or scraps, which have got 20 grams each. So you can see this is the lightest one, and then there's a medium one in the middle, and then a darker one at the end, and you use a background skein as well. That's the dark grey, and you knit towards the middle, and then you do the other side, which you could do in the same order, or you could do it in the opposite order. And then when you've got the both two sides together, you join the two sides with a 3-needle bind off with the contrast colours. But the other thing about this is you can do it with, you could do 6 different colours. And actually, if you look on Instagram, if you look at the hashtag Winterlights shawl, you'll see quite a few ones that people have made with loads of different colours. You would just need 10 grams of 6 different colours if you were doing it like that. So that's a good one for using up leftovers. And it has tassels as well, which I always like. And again, you could use some other leftovers for the tassels. So this is one that I have, next weekend I'm taking part in the virtual Yorkshire Yarn Fest. So this is one that I'll have kits for in this yarn, which is from Rusty Ferret. So it comes with the full skein, and then you get 3 mini skeins in this lovely gradient. But I will also I'm going to have all these patterns in a special bundle, as a sort of like mini skein leftover bundle at a special price. If you buy all of the patterns, there'll be a bit of a discount. So yeah, look out for that. I think my time for the Yorkshire Yarn Festival is 10:30, but I would need to double check that. But if you look at their feed, they've got a list up of all the different times. Yeah, so that's next weekend, the 29th of August. And the last thing I wanted to show you was this mohair yarn that's just sitting here beside me, that I am getting kits together, and I've forgotten to grab my sample. But it's for my Lonin shawl, which you could look up, Loanin is how you spell it, and it's a Scottish word for a lone or a road. And I've got some lovely mohair silk yarn, which is from Rico Yarns, in a lot of different colourways, and I'm just waiting for the other yarn to arrive, hopefully today, from Jameson Smith's, which is held double with this to make the shawl, so it makes a really cosy one. So this one is called, oh actually, do you know, they don't have the names on the labels. The names are on the bags, but the bags are in a big box down here. So I've got this teal one, which is very lovely, and this sort of paler blue, which they go together really nicely, don't they? And then I've got a grey, and this sort of, it looks a bit mustardy, but it's actually a bit more orange. I think that one's called peach. And then this is a navy. And this burgundy red, which I think might be called, actually it might be called burgundy. It's got a kind of red wine related name, I can't quite remember, but it's gorgeous. And then a pale pink, sort of dusky pink. And then a brighter pinky purple. It's not quite as bright as it's coming out there, but they're going to be paired up with one of Jameson Smith's 2-ply lace weights, and to be held double. So it makes a really lovely fuzzy shawl, and it's knitted on I think 4.5mm needle, so it's quite airy. So there's lots of different options there. But when my parcel from Jameson Smith's arrive, I'm going to have to do a lot of swatching, because I wanted to have a little swatch of each of these available so that you can see what they look like. But actually they're quite nice together, and then when I pick up the other 8, they're quite nice together. I can feel something coming on, a design idea. Anyway, I'll hopefully, when that arrives today, I'm going to take some photographs of the Jameson Smith's yarn, and I'll try and maybe put them up on my grid or in my stories. When the mohair arrived, I did a video of me opening the box, which was really fun, because it was the first time I'd seen the colours in real life. I had to pick them from just off the computer. I didn't have a shade card or anything, so it's always interesting to see if they come out how you're expecting or not. So yeah, I might do that later. But I'll let you get on with your Thursday, and hopefully the rain stays off and it stays off where you are. Yeah, okay, nice to see you. Bye.